The whispers in the walls. The wind howled through the dense pines as Meredith Tate made her way up the narrow gravel road. It was dusk, and the orange glow of the setting sun cast an eerie light over the dense foliage surrounding her. The forest seemed to sigh with each gust of wind, the trees rustling as if whispering secrets. It was her first time visiting the family cabin since her father passed away, and she had mixed feelings about it. The cabin had always been a place of mystery and wonder during her childhood, but now it felt alien, like it no longer belonged to her. The tires of her Jeep crunched on the gravel as she pulled up to the cabin. It stood at the edge of a cliff, overlooking a mist-filled valley. The windows were dark, and the wooden exterior had begun to peel and crack. It looked neglected, as if it had been abandoned for years. Meredith felt a chill run down her spine as she stepped out of the vehicle. The air was thick with moisture, and the distant cry of an owl echoed through the trees. She unlocked the front door, and it creaked open with a groan. Dust and cobwebs covered the furniture inside, and the scent of mildew filled her nostrils. As she explored the cabin, memories of her childhood came rushing back. The stone fireplace where her father used to tell stories, the old rocking chair that belonged to her grandmother, and the heavy oak dining table where they shared family meals. Meredith set her bags down and began to clean. She knew it would take time to make the cabin habitable, but she was determined to honor her father's memory by restoring the place. As she dusted off the old photograph frames on the mantel, she noticed something unusual. A small silver locket, tarnished with age, lay on the floor near the hearth. She picked it up and opened it, finding a faded photograph of a young girl. The girl's eyes seemed to pierce through the tarnish, her expression haunting. A sudden gust of wind blew through the open window, knocking a vase off the table. Meredith jumped, her heart racing. It was just the wind, she told herself, nothing to be afraid of. But the wind had grown stronger, and the trees outside seemed to groan, as if in pain. She closed the window and drew the curtains, feeling a sense of unease. That night, Meredith lay in bed, listening to the wind. It sounded different now, like voices, faint and distant, whispering just beyond her hearing. She tried to ignore it, attributing it to the wind's natural sounds in the forest, but the whispers grew louder. They seemed to form words, though she couldn't quite make them out. She pulled the blankets over her head, willing herself to sleep. But sleep didn't come. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to be coming from the walls themselves, as if the cabin had absorbed the voices of those who had lived there before. Meredith's heart raced as she sat up in bed, straining to hear what the voices were saying. But the more she listened, the more confused she became. The words were jumbled, overlapping, and incoherent. As the night wore on, the whispers turned into cries, faint at first, then growing louder and more desperate. Meredith clutched the silver locket in her hand, feeling its cold metal against her skin. The cries grew louder still, filling the cabin with a sense of anguish and torment. It was as if the cabin itself was alive, mourning the loss of something she couldn't understand. Meredith knew she had to leave, but something held her back. A sense of duty to her father, a need to unravel the mystery of the whispers. She couldn't leave, not yet. Not until she understood what was haunting the cabin and why the voices were crying out in despair. As the first light of dawn broke through the curtains, Meredith made a decision. She would stay and find out what the whispers in the walls were trying to tell her, no matter how terrifying the truth might be. The cabin held secrets, and she was determined to uncover them. But deep down, she knew that some secrets were better left undisturbed, hidden in the darkness of the forest.
Dear viewers, if you like to watch this kind of stories, do subscribe, like and share our channel. Thank you.